Good morning everyone and welcome back to Crypto Articles. Today is going to be a slightly different video from usual. We're going to do a very detailed technical analysis on Litecoin. So let me get started right away. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button if you like our videos. We drop a video nearly every day to keep informed of the crypto space. So let me jump right into it. So it's been one of the first major players in the space, even older is Bitcoin. We're looking all the way back to 2013, and he definitely stood the test of time. He's still with us today, and if I had to bet, Litecoin was around in 10 years time, I think it definitely would be, together with Bitcoin. So why am I bringing to you Litecoin today? Well, I do think Litecoin is extremely undervalued in its current price position, and I think it will definitely see growth in the years to come. So this is a long-term analysis of Litecoin. And I want to start by taking a look at the Bitcoin chart. So a lot of you probably look at charts against US dollar or USDT. I think it's kind of relevant to look at how Litecoin has been performing against Bitcoin over time, as this is probably a slightly better indicator than the US dollar to see the highs and lows of the price. So the chart that I have in front of me right here is Litecoin against Bitcoin. And as you can see, we can trace a line here. We are currently at the lowest levels. So this is definitely one of the lowest points we have ever seen Litecoin to be against Bitcoin. And we can trace another line actually here to see the downtrend. And what I would expect from this to happen, technically speaking, we're looking at a 1 week chart here. It's from this to break up this resistance line as we approach resistance. So I wouldn't expect Litecoin to actually fall further. But of course, everything can happen in the crypto space. We've seen crazy things happening in the past. We've seen dips and so on. But I would expect this to continue from here and eventually break out in the future. And the breakout could be quite imminent if we expect 2021 cycle to actually start going parabolic, which we haven't seen yet. So this is looking pretty bullish on the long term. Let me show you what it looks like against the US dollar. So if we switch to US dollar, this is a monthly chart, and we're going all the way back to September 2017 down here against the dollar. And as you can see, the first thing that strikes me is the pattern that we're seeing right now. So if you just take a drawing tool, what I definitely see here is this sort of cap and handle pattern, which is a very technical pattern that we've seen quite a lot recently on different coins. And the continuation of the breaking of this pattern is usually on the upside and indicates quite a bullish view. This is not exactly precise. We're seeing spikes and retracements, but this is a pretty good indicator overall. So let me just get rid of this for a second. And if we look at the 2018 cycle, exactly 1 year from the 1st of December 2017 to the 1st of December 2018, and we use the Fibonacci retracement tool, I kept it fairly conservative. We're pretty much looking at Litecoin hitting $668 and then Litecoin hitting $1,000. So if we trace a couple of lines here, we can see that we have these two clear levels in terms of what we could expect to happen in the long term. There we go. Right. So, and then if we look at the trend itself, we have quite a strong support on the very long term and quite a strong resistance as well at about $300. So let me jump right into what you're probably looking for, which is our 4 hours of daily charts. So this is Litecoin from February all the way to December today. And what I would like to do here is try to understand where you can go from here on the relatively short term. So we're talking about weeks and months. So first thing I would like to do is using the Fibonacci extension tool. What we can do here is basically go and measure from the high all the way down to the low point of the recent bull run dip that we've seen in May. So we've seen the price dipping in May last year, and then we can get an idea of where we expect the price to possibly reach in the near future. So if we take a look at this, we see that it's fairly possible for us to reach $900, and it's also fairly possible for us to reach the 598, so $600, which I also mentioned on the longer term time frame in the previous chart. The next thing I want to show you, it's our resistance lines. So if we go and trace a resistance line down here, we've seen that, sorry, support line down here. We've seen that we hit support a couple of times and we bounced swiftly from it. This is just recently, a couple of days ago. And we can trace a resistance line just up here. And this resistance line is indicating well, the resistance path. And what we see here is that we can clearly see that Litecoin is trending in a uptrending channel, and we're just at the bottom of the channel right now. What's most interesting, and let me change color for that, is that what we can trace is previous supports and resistance levels. So this line here, the tracing here, this was clearly resistance. We broke resistance at this point, and we turn it into support. So let me turn this to red. Literally, let's make it green. So green is our support. So this is our support level, and there's a quite strong support level at about 150. And we haven't come back to that level since October last year. Now, if we do the same thing, just slightly level up, we see a resistance around this area. And what we see is that we basically came down from resistance and returned it into support again. So this area here, I think, is probably better portrayed if we use a rectangle instead of just a straight line, but it gives you the idea. So this is our next support area, which we just bounced swiftly. So imagine being October last year, buying Litecoin at $142 all the way to $300. It's a 2x on something that is proven to be historically quite reliable and not as risky as many other assets. So where do we go from here? So I think what we can do is extend a couple lines. The first one I would like to extend is our resistance line. So we have a pretty strong resistance, and I'm going to make it red at the $400 level. And what we can do from here is now try to trace the candle extension. So I'm just going to do a similar pattern to what we've seen in the past. I'm not calculating actually all the resistance points, but you can do this. You can calculate all the resistance points in the middle. And this is pretty much what I would expect. So I would expect Litecoin to actually continue its trend from here and go all the way back up to 395, which is the upside of the resistance line of the channel. And that it's perfectly at another point, which is our long-term resistance point. So if we break from there, then I would expect Litecoin to start going parabolic, to Litecoin to start going up from that point. So if we break this point here, I wouldn't be surprised if we start hitting these points and then hitting the next resistance. So of course, we're talking about long-term, we're talking about the next cycle. We may very well see a dip first. And also interesting to notice is that by tracing this cost line, we end up at resistance exactly at mid-January 2022. And we talked about the extension of the current cycle to probably last slightly longer than usual, maybe Q1 2022. And this would fit perfectly. So if you're thinking about entering today on Litecoin, this could be a really good entry targeting about $400, which is exactly a 2x from where we are now. And this is probably quite low risk entry. What I definitely recommend doing when you're trading, of course, this is not financial advice, it's just educational content, but one thing that you can do is dollar cost average your entries. So don't put all your money at this point, but instead try to enter slowly. So maybe put 20% here and then see where we go from there. That way you don't have to spot the perfect entry point. You can just enter as we move. So that's it. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section down below. Feel free to join our Telegram, our Discord, and our channels and ask any questions, and we'll pick them up in our videos. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow.